What is up, everybody? It's Sunday, it's story time, and today I'm talking about the most ridiculous story from my fight career. Now, yesterday I just got back from Mexico. We're not talking about anything related to this trip, but I've got to say, coming back to Canada, where it's cold, is just a slap in the face after being in warm, sunny Mexico for a whole week. But regardless, happy to be back, happy to be talking with everybody here again. Felt weird being away for a whole week and not really posting too much footage, not really doing too much filming. So I'm very happy to be back talking with all of you. Looking forward to going through the comments and replying and just more interaction. But anyway, we are talking on Sunday about story time, the most ridiculous story from my fight career. 2011 in China. We're going to start off and talk about the details and then to get to this just mind-blowing ridiculousness. So I go over with Team Canada. Team Canada versus Team China. Contract comes, I sign it, one fight. About a week or two later, I get a follow-up saying, look we have a proposition for you. We want you to do 2 fights, 3 days apart. And I go, that's weird. I've never heard of that before. How could I possibly be prepared to fight 3 days later, not knowing what's going to happen in the first fight? So I said, no. I said, 1 fight. And they got back to me and they said, oh, no. Everybody who's coming needs to sign this contract for 2 fights 3 days later. And I said, I can't do that. And they said, okay, well, what we will do is we'll say there'll be a stipulation in your contract only, that if you don't want to fight or if you're injured in any way, you don't have to, but you're still signing for the 2 fights. So I did that and went ahead. We make the trip over to China and everything goes well. I'm the only person on Team Canada who gets the win on the first fight card, but I'm still feeling a little banged up. I still go the full 3 rounds. When you go the full 3 rounds, if you're not aware of it, your body still takes punishment. Your shins get sore, you get bumps and bruises on your arms. I didn't have any cuts or any massive damage, but still, I was very aware of the fact that in 8 weeks upon returning home, I had 2 months to prep up for my very first pro world title fight. And I went, having a second fight when I'm a little banged up, a little bruised up, could equal me being very, very injured because I didn't have enough recovery time, and then I won't be able to prep up properly for this first title fight. So I won my fight, and I said, no guys, I'm not feeling 100%, I'm not comfortable with this, and we're not gonna have this fight happen. I'm gonna pull out. And my gosh, they were not happy. The Chinese guys over there, not having it. Now, if you're unaware, people in China, as far as I've witnessed, do things as they're told by the people higher up to them. So the athletes over there, I feel like they're borderline slaves. They do what they're told. The officials over there, the people running the cross promotion between Canada and China, were not used to people saying no to them. So we had a lot of back and forwards over about 36 hours where people would come to me and they say, look, you have to fight. You know, it's in the contract. And I went, no, I don't have anything in the contract that says I have to fight. It just says if I wanted to and my body was feeling up to it. It's not feeling up to it. So I put my foot down. And then they'd send in the coaches from Team Canada and say, oh, you know what, this is something you really should do. And I say, guys, no, I'm not wanting to do this. Then they came in and offered to double my purse, which in all honesty didn't really matter much because I was only getting paid something like $1,000 to fight. So I was like, oh, you get $2,000. Like, yeah, who cares? If I'm not ready and it's going to compromise my body for an extra $1,000, that's not worth it. Remember, this is 2011, long time before my pro career with Glory, Bellator, anything like that started or got underway. So eventually, we get to the point where we go to the venue for the day before the fight. So it's been 2 days since I fought. And I sit down, I get brought over by somebody, the translator, and he's like, come over here. They draw me away from all the other Canadians. They sit me down. I'm not even kidding you. Me in a chair, a circle of chairs around me, 6 chairs. All these Chinese guys come over. They sit down, put me in the middle, translator by my side, and they tell me all the ways I'm letting down the Chinese-Canadian international relations just by not fighting. They started telling me that Canada came to the aid of China when Japan was like a dictatorship or at war with them, and how I was going to, demolish all of that. And I just stuck to my guns, said no, 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 started getting a little bit upset, which doesn't happen for me very often, but I did start getting upset and getting a little bit of a temper, and just said, no, this is not going to happen. And in hindsight, now that we've heard about some of the stuff that happens in China, maybe not the smartest thing in the world to just sit there and say no, but that's what went down. But that is not the funny part of the story. Here is the funny part. If you stuck around till now, good for you, because this is going to make you laugh. So they said, fine, you're not going to fight. We're going to put a substitute in. I went, yeah, that's no problem. Have a substitute. Doesn't matter to me. I'm not fighting. And they said, we want your Canadian jersey. What do you want my Canadian jersey for? But I gave it to them. And now on the night of the fight, I get on the bus because they want me to go anyway. And there's the rest of Team Canada, who I think of like the 9 of us or something, 3 were not fighting, including myself. So I went to support the other people. I get on the bus and there's somebody wearing my Team Canada jersey, an Chinese athlete with his hair dyed blonde. Not like nowadays where everybody dyes their hair. He's the only athlete who has blonde hair. And I look at the schedule when I get to the arena and I realize this blonde-haired athlete in the Canadian outfit is actually getting called Gabriel Varga when he gets into the ring. So they took one of the Chinese athletes, they dyed his hair, they gave him my jersey, they called him Gabriel Varga. I actually went and cornered this guy for the fight because I was cornering Team Canada just to help out the coaches. And I actually went and cornered this guy. He got beat up. So Gabriel Varga lost that night. I don't know if it would have actually ever gone towards my record or what the heck happened over in China. But this is the most monumental, ridiculous story of my career where I said no. People got really mad. I said no again. They got even more upset. I continued to say no. They went, you know what? We're going to replace you. We're going to have one of our athletes get their hair dyed. We're going to have him come out as you and have him get beat up by one of our guys. And I just went, this is just a story that I have not shared with enough people on this channel, and I absolutely need to do, because when I was down in South Carolina a couple of weeks ago, I was telling this story to somebody and they said, wow, I've never heard that on your channel. You absolutely have to share that. And there it is. I, of course, have other ridiculous stories, very many actually, but none with that amount of just laughability, I suppose, where you just look at it and you go, this situation doesn't even sound real, but rest assured, every fact in there is 100% true. That's why it's a fact. I don't make up stories. I don't embellish. That is what happened. No glitz, no glam. That's just the story. So if you're getting into a fight career, amateur or pro, be prepared for crazy things to happen. I'd say every second or third fight card, there's usually something crazy that happens. It's gotten a little better now that I've got deeper into my professional career, and the organizations like Karate Combat, like Bellator, are much more professional. There are much less things happening where I like scratch my head and I go, what the heck? Like, how is this actually happening right now? It's less. It definitely is when you get to the high level, but it still happens occasionally. And as you're coming up through the amateurs, expect it. Pretty much every fight card, early pro stages, same, expect it. And then when these wild things happen, it does not throw you off. It doesn't throw off your game, and you can still go out there and get those wins. Anyway, that's my story. Hope it made you guys laugh. I hope you had fun listening to this on Sunday. I will be back with more regular episodes this week. I'm looking forward to it. Guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Train hard. I will see you back here soon for another episode.